Welcome to Tower Trailer Garage. This is Dice. This is roughly the ninth trailer that we bought. This is a roughly a 1999 era Allmand Night Light Pro, 24 feet. We brought it home. It was a little orange and rusty. I decided to stay with the orange paint. Notice on the side we've got the handle for the crank up for the tower. We added the fire extinguisher, which is a standard feature, the snazzy decal. The lightning bolt indicates it's a generator trailer. And there's the tower piece of Cat 5 hanging out there. We added a second lift in the front, second one of the little crank up trailer jacks. And the idea behind that one was the one on the right hand side of the trailer has a flat bottom. It's designed for the 3-point stance when the trailer is up holding up the tower, but we added the roller one so you could roll it around the garage. It had a pintle hitch. We took the pintle hitch off and put a 2-inch ball on there on the front. And again, this one has an Isuzu diesel. It's a 3-cylinder in the range of about 22 horsepower, water cooled, and it has a Pancake 6 kilowatt generator. Now when we got it, it made a horrible noise. The main bearing, the bell bearing just inside that grate there in the back was destroyed. It had been in a very dusty place, and we believe cooling air with dust had been sucked into these vents, and eventually the dust got to the bearing, so it made a horrible noise. We had a generator bearing shop put in a new bearing and flipped the bell over, and so it gave us another sort of a lease on life, and they were able to save one of the two 3 kilowatt windings in the alternator. There's the hour meter, the starter, and the button for the glow plugs, and then we've also got the two switches for the lights. We've going to hang on to 2 lights, and they're about 1,000 watts each, and we just discovered that this one, if you look very carefully at the bulb, is actually burned out, which is maybe why it wasn't working. They're about 1,000 watts each, so we can actually run 2 lights and some radio equipment at the time on the existing winding. Now we had a missing jack, but we got some hot rolled 2-inch by 1/4-inch tubing. I think I got a 5-foot piece and a couple of Harbor Freight jacks. This is actually an old one, and we made our own outrigger. And the outriggers are handy. This one probably fell off on the road because this particular model does not seem to have a latch for the outrigger. So they slide in and out. In this case, they slid out and probably fell on the freeway somewhere. So there's the forklift eyes on the mast and the lifting eye. If you ever wanted to lift these onto a semi or onto a barge, this one has a relatively new jack, unfortunately, or winch handle. Unfortunately, it's a little bit bent. So looking at the top of the tower, it's got the crossbar, and there's the pan tilt zoom camera. And then I put on what I call a semi-sturdy pipe mount, just made it out of a bracket. And the idea is this can hold whatever antennas we have, mesh antennas. It's really not solid enough for a full-size beam, but you could put a 6-meter beam or something. Again, I kept 2 of the lights, and then I kept one of the light brackets. And the idea is these, if you bolt them down hard, you can put little pieces of pipe or not, and put a couple more mesh radios. So we could have a mesh radio and a one of those Ubiquity nano switches. And on the other side, you could have another radio, maybe a 5 gig radio, put a 2.5 gig radio on that side, get a little separation. This one we could put our dual band antenna, and I've even been known to clamp the radios onto the side of these forks that hold the lights. Again, there's the other side. This one's probably going to need some side lights. It did have running lights. I had to fix them. And then one more thing I want to show you. Again, you want to watch for the crank on these Allmands. If it doesn't have a crank handle, it means it's an electric hoist or a hydraulic hoist. Those are tricky. This one had a bad fender, so I got a fender off of eBay and drilled a couple of holes and replaced the fender. You can see where the old one was, and it was cracked and it was uneven, which really wasn't very good. This one, the tires are fairly decent, so Dice, the only disappointment with Dice is 24 feet. But we discovered, and we have a secret plan, and Eric, or Tim has one of these. We think we can drill a hole here in the top of the crossbar. In fact, I've already started a hole, and drop a piece of pipe down the inner, that's about a 3-inch pipe. So we might be able to drop a 6-foot piece of either, say, 1.25" galvanized pipe, or a piece of my favorite, the 1.5" perforated tubing. And then I ordered a little sort of a fence bracket here, and we can put a pin. And the idea is we could put a pin here or a pin in the pipe and put a 6-foot extension. Then we would not be false advertising that we would in fact have a 30-foot antenna mount on the top of the trailer. So thanks for the tour, and we'll keep you going on some of the newer ones.